All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I know candles are being passed around. Feel free to light off of someone else's candle. I know people have lighters. We had masks at the table. There's also papers if you want to write something down and hang it. Over by the road, we've hung up clothesline, and there's quotes from people who couldn't make it tonight. Or if we don't, we're going to open up the mic later as soon as we have our two speakers speak. People will have an opportunity to share their stories and their feelings about what happened. And if you feel like maybe you're not ready to get up in front of the mic, or you just want to share it just quietly, you're welcome to write down your quote and put it on that clothesline. We've got clips, we've got cleaned pens. Everything's ready over at the table for you. All right. So a couple announcements. If there are protesters, do not engage with them, okay? Salt Lake Police are already ready to handle them if they break the law. We all have every right to be here. We got a permit and everything. We're here to express ourselves, and we are safe if we don't engage. So don't engage. Thankfully, I haven't really seen anyone opposing, so that's good. All right. We're going to use the hashtag bury your weapons for online discussions and photos so that people can find it later. And if you don't want to be in photographs, please get a little yellow dot like this one. From the table. We have a million of them. So if you don't want to be on camera, make sure that you get that little yellow dot, okay? Perfect. We've got some upcoming events for BYU students, faculty, and our allies. So we got a BYU Pride Night, September 4th in Kiwanis Park. That's in Provo from 3 to 7 p.m. And we have a BYU Solidarity game. So from BYU versus Arizona State on September 18th, we're going to wear rainbow to the game. Okay. Our first speaker is Matt Easton, our 2019 valedictorian. Give it up for Matt.
All right, good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Yeah. Wow, it is so amazing to be here with all of you tonight. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming out to show support for me, for the LGBTQ community. It really is so important that we come together as a community. Thank you so much. It has been a very, very crazy week for me. It's been tough. Has it been hard for anyone else? Can I get a woohoo if it's been hard for you? Woo! So we can all come together in our mutual trauma, which is always good. I haven't really prepared anything in particular to share. Just hoping that maybe as I share some of my story and my experiences, hopefully that you and the people that you love who are LGBTQ+, can feel a little bit less alone. Some of you may have heard me tell this story before, but my first year at BYU, I was right off my mission, bright-eyed, ready to take over the world. I was Elders Quorum president and, dating as many girls as I could. Bless my heart, right? And in one of my first classes my freshman year, it was international relations. And there was a boy who sat one row in front of me. His name was Harry Fisher. And I didn't know Harry very well. I think maybe we talked once or twice during some class exercises or something. But midway through the semester, I remember one day Harry wasn't there anymore. And our teacher, our professor, she said sort of some vague words about one of our students. And I went online and I learned that Harry had come out as gay just a few weeks before. And because of the response that he got and the struggles that come with how our community reacts, he ended up taking his own life. And being 20 years old, and the first person that I ever knew at BYU who was gay, ended up taking his own life. It was hard for me not to see myself in that. It was hard for me not to feel like, if I ever came out, if I ever lived authentically or shared my truth, that's where I would be driven to go as well. That's a really dark place. And I know that I'm not the only one that's been there. In fact, I think it's safe to say that probably a lot of us who are here, especially who identify as queer, have been in that same sort of place. And it doesn't have to be that way. And so when I got a chance to give my graduation speech at BYU, I really believe that I was inspired. Whether you believe in God or a higher power or the universe, whatever it was, that still small voice told me, Matt, you can make a difference. You can show other kids like yourself that there is a place for us. That there is a, that we do belong. And that places like BYU and our communities, it's not just that they can learn to tolerate us, but they need us. They need our voices and our ideas and our creativity and our complaints. They need every part of it, because that is what makes a community beautiful. That is what makes a community meaningful. So it was a wonderful experience coming out the way that I did and the response that I got. And it's been a long time since I came out, over 2 years. I've come a long way in those 2 years. Probably a lot of you here have also come a long way. And so I'm not going to lie, I was pretty thrown off this week when I got the message about the words that were shared about me, about commandeering my graduation. Kind of a strong word, I think, and one that maybe isn't accurate to my experience. So I hope that tonight I can share a little bit more about where I'm coming from and hopefully help our community heal. My speech, it was pre-approved at BYU. I even made sure I sent it in 2 weeks before, and I put little notes on the side saying, I'm going to come out, and here's where I'm doing it. And believe it or not, I even linked to Elder Holland's talk, how we're all voices of the gospel choir. And it's a little ironic, I know. But I know that the faculty who approved my speech, they approved it not because they were scared of the backlash that I was going to give them, not because they thought that they had to, but because they knew that it was an appropriate place, and they understood the message that I was sharing of hope and inclusion and of a future. And tonight I want to reiterate that nobody can take away our future. Nobody can take away our worth, and nobody can take away our dignity. So, thank you. I want to speak for a moment specifically to the queer students who are still at BYU. I want you guys to know that I see you, and that I love you, and that I'm so sorry that you guys have to be the ones to take the brunt of this misunderstanding and this confusion and this vitriol. I know what it feels like to be in love with BYU, to love the professors, to love the educational opportunities. I joke a lot that I really do think BYU has one of the most beautiful campuses. I mean, they change the flowers like the moment they start turning brown. It's beautiful and lovely, and so many wonderful parts of it that it's not always easy to just pick up and leave. There's a lot of reasons why queer students stay. For myself, when I first went there, I was afraid that if I went somewhere besides BYU, the campus was gonna, turn me gay or keep me from living my commandments. And there's financial reasons and personal reasons, and so to those students, I just want to let you know that we see you, and that it's okay if you can't leave right now or you're not ready to come out, and just know that we're fighting for you. That what happened a few nights ago at the edge of campus, where if you're not familiar, a BYU student put some water on some chalk drawings that were showing in support of the LGBTQ community, and he used a slur against us. And I wish that was the first time I had ever heard that word used at BYU or around BYU. But it's not. That word's been used against me before there. It's been used against my friends. And we're not going to stand for that kind of musket fire. And yeah, I hope that those students know that they're not alone. And thank you for showing us that we're not alone. This week, I received hundreds and hundreds of messages from people showing so much support. And I mean, look at this crowd tonight, and you just get a sense of how many people love us exactly as we are. And you know, yes, and I think that people in our community, whether they are active members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, if they're ex-Mormon, if they've never been Mormon, I think that this really is a non-divisive issue, that it's something we can all get behind, that we can celebrate who we are. We can love who we are with no pretenses. I was really struck in particular this week, some of the words that were shared, how Elder Holland asked us not to mistake love for advocacy. And I want you guys to know that I believe love is advocacy. I mean, another name for Jesus Christ is the advocate. And I know that if he were here, he would be advocating for me and for you and for all of us who have not been heard. Yes. And so thank you for walking that same path, for being an advocate for me, for being an advocate to my siblings in the LGBTQ plus community. And I want you to know that we feel it and we are grateful. And please do not stop. I think that some of the words that have been spoken this week come from a place of fear. I think people are afraid of what they don't know and what they don't understand. You know, I was afraid for a long time. I didn't understand who I was, what it meant to be gay, but I'm not afraid anymore. And you know how we get rid of fear is with hope and love and understanding. And the more that we can share our stories and raise our voices, the more that we can eliminate that fear. And you know, I think that there is nothing to fear. There are only things to look forward to and to hope for. So tonight, I hope that you are all excited. We're going to get a chance to hear from other queer voices. I hope that you give us space to walk with us, to mourn with us, to hear us, and just be here with us. That's all that we ask for. I just want to end to let you guys know that I am so proud and so happy to be gay. And that, you know, there was a time in my life that I couldn't say that. And there may be a time in your life where you feel like you still can't say that, but I want you to know that it gets better and that there are people here who will help you and that I will help you, that I'm here for you. Thank you so much, everyone. I feel an immense amount of love. And yeah, let's have a great night tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
What's that? Oh, I'm okay with it, but yeah, we can if we want to. Yeah.
That's fine.
Good call. All right. Our next speaker is going to be Chris Irvin. Give it up for Chris. Woo!
Okay, I did prepare my remarks because I'm old, and also I have ADHD, and so we could be here all night if I didn't write this down. I wanted to echo what Matt said. Love is not divisive. Love is unity. And it saddens me that there are people that don't understand that. Queer Latter-day Saints are familiar with the metaphorical musket fire that Elder Holland spoke of at his BYU address on Monday. We are fired at constantly, from the pulpit in our wards to the pulpit in general conference, from well-meaning members to from our families, from our friends. We are fired at all the time. In 2013, Elder Holland gave a talk in general conference entitled "Like a Broken Vessel," And I just want to know, or I want Elder Holland to know, that so many of us are broken vessels because we are fired at constantly by your musket fire, by your division, by your disdain for queer members. Some church members mean well and some do not, but it is a tragedy that queer members must constantly wear armor to protect ourselves from the bullets fired at us. Why does a church that professes the need for love at home and instructs us to scatter sunshine and serve others continue to preach divisiveness from the pulpit? Elder Holland, you spoke of wanting unity, but can't you see that your talk made the chasm between the church members and queer members even wider? Many of us want to build bridges, but it's difficult to build them when the other side keeps tearing them down. Make no mistake, queer LDS members are often targeted by both true blue Mormons, anyway. In addition to those who have left the church. We cannot win. Either the church is firing at us or the ex-Mormons are vilifying us for belonging to a religion that continuously hurts the queer community. I have been asked countless times, why do I belong to the church when it causes so much pain? Why do I stay? Let me be clear. I stay because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is my spiritual home. I realize that there are other paths to happiness everywhere, and not just within the church, and I support those who leave just as I support those who stay. But this is my home. And as the primary song says, there is beauty all around when there's love at home. I stay so I can help provide that love in my home. I stay because I have felt that love. Even though I still have to wear my armor against musket fire, it is my hope that that love can bring us more unity through service and through understanding, that we can have more unity together. Bullets are not the way to inspire unity, but love is. Love your neighbor, whether straight or queer. Don't fire at them. Serve them. Learn to understand them. Only then will we come to understand each other, and understanding each other is the first step in burying our weapons of war. I don't recall Jesus proclaiming, "Blessed are those who inspire division," or "Blessed are those who ask for unity while firing their muskets." As Jesus said, "Blessed are the peacemakers." To the church, we queer saints are begging for peace. We want unity just as you do, but bullets are not the way, and they will not inspire peace. The only way to truly love one another, regardless of gender identity or sexual orientation, is through love. Queer Latter-day Saints stand at the door and knock. Our knuckles are bloody. Our bodies are pierced and bruised. Will you let us in?
Thank you, Chris. All right, we're going to open up the mic with a reminder that this is for queer voices, not allies. And we say that with the hope that we can hear from folks who are in the intersections or who have marginalized identities. Also, kind of a warning, for lack of a better term. You might hear stuff when people are up here at the mic that makes you feel uncomfortable. And as allies, your job is to sit with that and try and understand the person who's saying those things, not necessarily about you, okay? There's a 3-minute limit, and I'll be kind of timing and keeping an eye on that. We're going to end at 10 p.m. If you want to come up and share using the mic, make sure to introduce your name and your pronouns. And if you do want to speak and you don't want to be shown on the live stream, let Geraldine know. All right. Sorry, one more thing. Don't step in front of this speaker if you come and use the mic, okay? Awesome.
Hey everyone, my name's Natalie. I started at BYU in the fall of 2014. I left BYU in the winter semester of 2017 so that I could transition. And I had many conversations with my bishop about this because for most of my time at BYU, I was a faithful, believing Mormon. And I wanted to reconcile the truth of my identity with my religious conviction at the time. Things have changed a lot, but I wanted to work with my bishop with this. So I met with him several times. And at first it was very positive and very welcoming. And he was like, you can come as however you are. We'll address you as Natalie. And it was really positive. But then he wanted me to meet with my stake president. And my stake president made it clear in no uncertain terms that I could dress however I wanted. But if I decided to medically transition, that would be the end of the line. And so rather than stick it out, I left because it was a life or death decision for me to transition, and I had to leave BYU. And it broke my heart to do it. And I think a lot of what could have been if I was able to transition as a student, and if I could have completed my education and continued my career. So for those who are still in BYU and transitioning or coming out and coming into their identities, I have so much respect for the bravery you're showing. And I just don't want you to give up because like I gave up, I feel like. Thank you. The community that I've met outside on the fringes of BYU, the Queer Mules community, saved my life. The work that you guys do is life-saving, and this call to bury your weapons is one that I will stand behind 100%, because like Chris was saying, the goal here is unity, and the way towards unity is love. And like Matt was saying, is advocacy is love. And I see it here, I feel it here, and I just appreciate it so much. And I really appreciate this opportunity to share that experience, and just hope that you guys can make it.
Hi, my name's Amber. She, her. I am an asexual panromantic person. I just want to say I'm so proud of Matt. And I went to BYU for a year, and I left for my own mental health towards the end because it was just not an environment for me. And I just want to say thank you to all the allies that are here, and to anyone who is LDS still, an ally and watching this. I just want to say that words have a lot of power. And when you talk to your family members that are queer, that your words mean a lot. And just thank you to everyone that's come out. It's so great. Like seeing all the lights in the vigil, it's beautiful. And I love you all, and have a good night.
Hi, I'm Ryan. My pronouns are he and him. I am currently a student at UVU as of a week ago. Before that, I was a student at BYU for 2 years, and it was what you would expect. But along the way, I met a very great group of queer people who showed me that community. Part of that community, a smaller part of that community that's all here today, gathered to show that love, to quite literally shine our light. And it's this community, this love that we have here, that gave me the hope that I have now. The hope that I pray I can share with everyone that comes to me. To everyone that comes to me the same way that I came to those that I trusted, begging them for help, begging them for support, begging for a shoulder to cry on when things were hard. Coming to realizations that I hadn't come to before. Realizing that some things maybe weren't good for me. Realizing that my therapist at one point did indeed try to put me through conversion therapy, while I had devoted my life to serving the Lord as a full-time missionary. And I know that's not what God wanted from me, because I know that my creation was not a mistake. I know that we are all here for a reason, and that reason is to share our light with the world. If you are a part of that LGBTQ community, you are made to perfection. Whether you're an ally or whether you are not an ally, it is important to understand that it is not about you. It is time to listen. It is time to hear what we have to say, because we are crying out and we need your support. We need loving arms, because the larger our community is, the larger our support system is, the more other people can feel that hope, the more that they can see that light that we have today. And I hope that as we go out tonight, as the candles are blown out, that our light still shines, and that we can be the people that we are here to be, that we can spread that love, and that we can support every single one of us that comes into our lives, regardless of their sexual orientation or their gender identity or anything else that has caused them to be on the margins of society. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Dan and I use they them pronouns. And I was just sitting and thinking of this story from a little while ago. I came out as non-binary during the pandemic, and before that I had been like super active in the church, and I like had my temple recommend and like went to the temple with one of my best friends in the whole world like almost weekly. And I just remember feeling such a feeling of peace, and like I believe that it's because like people are there to like, you know, seek spiritual enlightenment, I guess, and wherever some people are gathered to do that, that's where, you know, the universe or God or whoever you believe in is, they're there to kind of give you that. But anyway, so the temples were shut down during the pandemic, and then I realized I was non-binary, and I came out, I changed my name, changed my pronouns, started dressing a little different. And then my best friend that I went to the temple with every week, she got engaged and was getting married. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, I can come into the temple with you. Until I realized that I couldn't, because I came out as non-binary. Because they don't let you in. And like, even if they did let you in, like, which side would you sit on? Would you sit with the boys or the girls? Because it's like, you know, where do you sit? So that like hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, I don't get to watch my best friend get married, and I was so sad. And I went and I talked to my therapist about it. I was like, Justin, look, like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, what is happening? And he's like, you know, like, I can get that that's really hard for you, that you don't get to go to the temple anymore because, you know, of who you are, basically. But he looked me in the eyes and he said, Dan, I know you're strong and I know you can get through this and you can be there when she comes out and you can give her the biggest hug. And I know that one day you'll find your temple, wherever that may be. And I just want to let, like, every person that's in the closet, every person that's out of the closet, that you'll find your place and you'll find your peace and you'll find where you belong, because you don't belong somewhere where you don't get to be your authentic self. Yep. So just hold on to the hope that it'll come one day. One day you'll find your temple. Yeah.
Hello. My name's Marianne. I use she, her pronouns. I did my time at BYU and went off 4 years and graduated and spent several years after trying to, you know, live the cisgender heteronormative life that I thought I was supposed to, and I just want to say that it's an honor to be standing here in this community. And since transitioning and coming out, my life has been filled with so much light and beauty that I never thought was possible. And I'm so grateful for all the people here and all the allies and the queer people who were there to mentor me and kind of help me through the scary time of figuring out who I am. And I just hope that I don't know, I can be there for other people and that we can continue to help each other through hard times. And thank you.
There was a real showdown that just happened. My name is Jackson. I use the pronouns he, him. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I love this like queer testimony meeting that's happening. So I am a former BYU student. I just graduated in April. Thank you. Oh, wow. And I just want to share a little bit about my story. So I came out probably 2 years in. I came out as queer. And I didn't come out as trans until after I had graduated just recently. But I played on a sports team at BYU. And a couple years ago, after they changed the honor code, and we had some happy feelings about that, I posted that I was dating someone of the same gender at the time. And then 2 weeks later, that changed. I'm sure many of you are familiar with what happened. And I was presented with a choice on that team. So my coach came to me and said that she was obligated to report me to administration, or I could step down from the team. So I had like a year left, and so I decided to step down from the team, and that was really hard. And I felt a lot of anger about that for a really long time. Let's be real, it's still there. I'm still angry about that. But I also found a lot of support in the BYU queer community while I was there. So I just wanted to say, for everyone who's a member of the community at BYU, there is a strong, loving queer community there, and you can find them, and they will find you, and they will love you and accept you. And if you're a queer student at BYU, just know, like Maddie said, you're not only are you so loved and supported by so many people, but you're also important. You're valuable to that community. And it's a burden. It's a burden to bear, but it's okay because you're also very strong for just being there at all. So just shine your cute little queer light and be proud. Thanks.
My name is Sarah, and my pronouns are she, her. I left the church 5 years ago when I realized that having to juggle my religious identity with my sexuality was just something I could no longer handle. I may have left the church physically, but I cannot leave the church that lives inside of me. My ancestors crossed these plains. My ancestors built this state. Mormonism is in my blood, no matter how much I want to deny and reject it. When I hear that the church is saying these things about my friends within the queer community, that makes me very angry. These are my people, and no one hurts my people. I just want you all to know that we all have each other, and no matter where you are within your religious journey, whether you're in the church, whether you're out of the church, whether you've never been in the church, I want you to know that I love you and that there's so many other people here who love you too. And I just want you all to know that you guys should never have to, bury your bushel or hide who you are, because you're so precious and so important. And I just love you all so much. Thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? Hey! It's a pretty good day to be queer, yeah? So I'm sitting there and my friends are like, so are you gonna go up? And I'm like, what do I have to say? Everybody else here is queer too. They all have the same story as me. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have the same story, And something I've learned, I've been out for about a year, and our voices are so important. Everybody's learning and growing at different paces, and different things happen. I'm from Las Vegas. I didn't grow up in Utah. My experience is much different than a lot of my friends. So I guess all I really have to say is your voice is important and that it matters, and be proud to be queer. Make people uncomfortable. Yeah? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I go to BYU and I love to make people uncomfortable. But I'm happy and I'm proud to be here with all of you guys, and keep shining your light. We need it. So, thanks.
Hi, everybody. I've been out for many years, but I dropped my nephew off at BYU for his freshman year on Tuesday, and we went out to lunch with me and my husband and my oldest son, and it's good to be there for representation in your family, to let them know that you still love them and that you're there for them, and to remind them that we have queer people and there's people in your family that are part of this. And it's really hard. And I don't know. I love my family and I love my nephew, and I just want all of my family to know. And one of my nephews came out as non-binary 3 weeks ago, and he reached out to me, and because he knew that I was an ally, that I would be there for him. And I think it's important that people, like, if you're in the church or out of the church, which I'm not, but that you can be there for your family and be there as someone who can just be a shoulder for them, anyway, thank you.
Okay, I'm very anxious and very awkward, but I wanted to kind of come forward and share my experience, but more than share my experience, I wanted to just kind of strongly encourage everyone to know that you are valid in your identity, regardless of what you choose to be and who you choose to share that with. I feel like sometimes there is an obligation to have to tell people who you are, and you do not owe that to anybody. Your identity is purely your own, and you are beautiful, and you are strong, and you are important, and you are loved. And in times like this, I think mental health is incredibly important. I know, being someone who struggles with mental health, but also who has struggled with gender identity and sexuality, I have not always prioritized my own mental health, and I have oftentimes hid who I am to my own detriment. And I think that it is very important in this time that we band together and we support and we love each other, but we also reach out and we use the resources that we have available, and we create new ones and safe spaces for everybody that is coming out, that is already out, that requires support, that doesn't require support, because at the end of the day, we really just have each other and ourselves. And if we take care of ourselves and each other and we build each other up, I hope that one day we can have a world where we are safe and we are valid and we are loved, because every single person here and every single person on this earth deserves that and deserves a safe space. And I love every single one of you, and I'm so grateful to be gay, and I love you all.
Hi, my name is Sora. I use they, them pronouns. This is only my second time out in public since like a year before the pandemic, so you're gonna have to excuse me. I was raised a very devout member of the church, and I was a temple ordinance worker. I applied to go on my mission. I was married in the temple. I was in it. And then after I was divorced, I kind of simultaneously realized two things. The first is that I am both non-binary and gay. And the second is that the God I was raised to believe in is not one who would create me with the purpose of being alone. Yeah. And so I left, and I left the church looking for a spirituality that would allow me to be myself and that would allow me to be with another person who loved me, and to experience love in my life. And in doing so and in searching for myself, I was shunned by my family and by my community, and I lost everything. And if it were not for the arms of this community and the arms of the LGBTQ people in this area enveloping me, I would not be standing here today. Oh, thank you. I love you too. So I just want to remind people like my parents and like Elder Holland, whose love looks a little bit less like advocacy and a little bit more like just plain tolerance, that while your musket fire may be metaphorical, its danger to our lives is still very real, and it still has an impact on our safety and our well-being. to those of you who are still in the closet and who are scared to come out or who are questioning or who feel alone, there is a community here and they are strong and we have our arms open and waiting for you, and there's safety here. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I'm just adjusting the mic. There you go.
Hi, my name is Savannah. I use she, her pronouns, and I came out I've been out for a long time, since high school, so, but recently my younger sister, who's 13 years old, came out, and she's been reaching out to me because she still lives, obviously, with my parents, who are devout Mormon and really struggling with her news. And I guess I want to take this opportunity to say the things to her that I would have wanted to hear, that so many of us needed to hear as children. Emma, you are so brave, and you are so strong, and you are so resilient, and you have a family of, look at all of us. Look at all of us here. You have everyone here, and our arms are so open and warm, and we will hold you, and we will carry you, and we will walk with you. And our love is so endless, and it is unconditional. There is no condition to the love that we have here. So welcome to the family, Emma, and welcome everyone who's there at home who doesn't have the strength right now or the words to say it. You're welcome, even if you don't know you're here. So thank you. I love you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lydia. I use she, her pronouns. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what I want to say. I'm very grateful and that I had people in my family pave the way for me. So my coming out was kind of simple. It was said and it was done, and that was fine. And I'm very grateful for that. I wish to speak to those who are still of the faith and who are watching and who don't understand. I'm still an active member of the church. I'm bisexual. And and when I was coming to terms with my sexuality, it took a lot of time, it took a lot of thinking, it took a lot of prayer, it took a lot of fasting. And at the end of it, I was just talking with God. And I said, hey, I think I'm bisexual. And he said, yeah, but you already know that. And it was the same spirit. It was the same answer that I've had every time I pray about the Book of Mormon. It was that same spirit. It was God communicating with me. And I knew that. And I said, okay, great. And I put it in the back pocket. And I said, okay, now I know that, but I'm not going to acknowledge it for a while. Until the Lord said, no. I told you this and you know this for a reason. I need you to be out, and I need you to be a light. And so that's what I've been trying to do. And I don't have all the answers, but I know that God created us the way that we are, and for a reason. And I think that was one of the hardest things about the Holland article for me, was that here Matt was being called out for simply stating his identity. But I know that our identities are true, and that God created us as he wants us to be. And he loves us no matter what. And I'm so grateful for the community here that is also so freely giving of their love. So thank you for that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate. I feel a little jittery, kind of like I am bearing my testimony a little bit. I gave my first testimony when I was like 5 years old or something, and my family always makes fun of me because the first thing I said was that I was grateful for the pancakes I had for breakfast that morning. And I kind of miss that, you know, like that was like a really simple truth for me, and I feel like as I've gotten older, I don't have those simple truths anymore. They've kind of escaped me some way or another. The last testimony I ever gave was when I was still a student at BYU. I was at church, and for some reason I decided to get up. I didn't usually go to church, and certainly not on fast and testimony meeting, but I got up and I said, you know what? I don't really know what I believe anymore. I don't know if I believe this church anymore. I just know it's really hard to be Mormon and gay. And that was all I said. I went and sat back down, and my roommates were kind of in the audience like, you know, kind of ... Kind of hung them out to dry there. But I guess what I want to say to those of you who are still at BYU, I transferred. I'm at the University of Utah now, so, you know, go Utes. You know, after I came out, people were like, oh, you're so strong for being at BYU. You know, you should stay here. Keep being strong. Keep, you know, having the good fight. And that wasn't for me. And a lot of people were kind of disappointed by that because, you know, Kate, you're so strong. You've always been that good Mormon girl. You know, you can still keep being that good Mormon girl and do it at BYU. And there are some people that can do that, and I applaud you. But, you know, you don't have to fight. You don't owe anybody. You don't have to be some stripling warrior. You don't have to go out there and fight the fight that your parents won't fight for you, you know? Like, you don't have to be that person. You don't owe that to anybody. You can actually just fight for yourself, you know? Or you know, even better, just bury your weapons and just live your life how you want to live it. So don't forget that. And I love you all for being here, and thank you for your support.
Hi. I also will ramble if I don't read, so forgive me. I am a current BYU student. I am bisexual, and my pronouns are she, her. I recognized that I was queer while on my mission, which is a great place to recognize it. But it took me until the junior year and quarantine to overcome all of that internalized homophobia and actually start wrestling with it. I'm still not out to my family, and I live with the fear of their rejection over my head every day, and it gets kind of exhausting because I love them very much. 2 years ago, I was in a political philosophy class doing a thought experiment called Controversial Opinions. Just say something that you earnestly believe, and if no one agrees with you, you get to advance in the tournament. I told my group, I don't think there is any problem with legalizing gay marriage. I was told by a student that I am not allowed to say that, and I was not allowed to advance. I don't know if he even remembers it, but I think about that every day. It was the day I realized the queer community was not welcomed by the average student in most of my classes. I've been making small efforts this summer to come to terms with who I am and the homophobia I internalized by growing up in the church. I thank the amazing woman who has been so kind and patient with me this summer as I wrestle with these complex feelings that come with dating a woman. I am so grateful also for all of the support I found in the community, letting me know that even though I don't always love who I am, that they do. My father, for all of his faults, taught me that the church started with a young man asking a question. And my mother taught me that love is the center of this church. So I'm going to keep asking questions and searching for love. Some days I feel like God is silent. Sometimes I can't read the scriptures without feeling angry or sorrow. But I'm going to keep searching until I find my peace. Whether it leads me towards the church or away from it, I am just so glad to have this community, even while I'm at a school that has made it clear that I am not allowed to do that. Thank you.
Yo. I'm really awkward. All right. So I've been really out and then like kind of slowly went back in the closet, and I moved to the Salt Lake area with the express intent of slowly coming back out again. So thank you for being a space. And I'm sure I can't possibly be the only person who's experienced this thing where, like, you're trying so hard to be what everyone else wants you to be that you lose your curiosity and some of your sense of fun and joy. And I just want you to know, if you're in this gray area where you don't know who you are anymore, you can rediscover your curiosity. And you can rediscover your love. And you don't have to be alone forever. We're out here for you.
Hi, my name is Robert. I use he, him. And I came out about 2 months ago. And thanks. I never would have thought I'd be at, I guess, a rally for gay rights. Even after I came out. I thought it was, just something you had to deal with yourself. You just went through the experiences yourself. And after Elder Holland's talk this week and the pain I saw it cause so many other queer people that I don't even know, I just follow them on Twitter. But, I saw their pain, and I really started to understand what it meant to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm really thankful that I've come out and I've had people in the community to show me their experiences. Growing up in the church, I was always under the impression that, if you were gay or queer, that you couldn't live a happy, fulfilling life. And as I've gotten to know more people in the community, especially here in Salt Lake, I've seen that's totally untrue, and you can be just as happy in a queer relationship as you can a straight relationship, I guess. And again, I'm just so thankful I've been able to find this community and be able to come out as who I really am.
Hello, my name is Alex. My pronouns are he and them. I just want to say that coming out has been such a blessing for me, and that no one, especially Elder Holland, does not need to weep for me because it's not sad.
Hi guys, there's a lot more people here than I thought. My name is Tomasi, I identify as he, him, and I'm wearing this shirt today because it perfectly describes how I feel everyone should live their life. Just be yourself and whatever follows will follow. I was raised a member of the church, and when I came out, my family was pretty supportive, but then there kind of started to become more messages of like, well, we love you, but just, you know, hopefully you just don't bring a boy home and like make out with them on the couch, or like don't hold their hand, like if we're all here for family dinner, you know, we don't want to like confuse the kids. And I was like, hold on, I don't understand. That's not like what you said. It's not love and it's not acceptance, and you're not really letting me live my life. So with that being said, lucky enough that my family has mostly come around, and I feel a lot of support from family and friends. And I just want to say how much I think it matters to queer youth and kids that are being raised and starting to understand the world and starting to understand themselves, how important it is for you to be an ally and an advocate. Because wearing a shirt like this, I had someone at the supermarket tell me, "Thank you for wearing your shirt." And I was like struck by it, you know? And I used to think I would never want to be a loud and proud person just because I was internally shaming myself. But all I have to say pretty much is make that post, put that pride flag on your car, put that equality sign on your car, say that you love someone, tell them how much they mean to you no matter what. And if you feel like you know anybody that might be in the closet, don't pressure them. Don't go up and be like, "Hey, just in case," you know, just like let them know they're loved. So don't pull anybody out of the closet. Don't keep anybody in the closet. So all I have to say pretty much is that we just need more love and acceptance, and I'm so grateful that there's so many people here to show that. So.
Sorry, for the record, feel free to adjust the mic stand. It's okay. I won't get mad at you, I promise.
Hi, my name is Camille, and my pronouns are she, her. When I left BYU, I didn't know that I was queer. I had other issues that I needed to sort out, and I'm still working through them in many ways, but through it all, I've always been a faithful member of the church. And slowly, I allowed myself to, I educated myself first, and I'm so very grateful that I figured out how I feel about queer people before I realized that I was one, because that made all the difference in the world. So as I've come to myself and I came out to myself, I later, in the new year 2020, I got the prompting that I needed to be out to everybody in my life. And that was a scary prompting. It was a scary thing to act on, but I did. And nothing but blessings have come from it. And I'm so, so grateful. Because as I've gone on this journey, I realized I'm unapologetically queer, and I'm unapologetically a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Thank you so much. This is my church too. And yes. Thank you. I'm just here to show that I am going to be who I am, unapologetically, happily, out and proud. And I know that's not always, that's not something that everyone can have. And that's why I'm so very grateful to the supportive people in my life who make that possible. But the early church members also had to fight for their membership in this church. And I think we understand that better than so many of the people who say to walk in their footsteps today. And I realize that I have this calling to be who I am, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for the blessing of being queer. I would never give it up for anything in the world. Thank you so much.
Okay, what if I told you that my heart just started like...
I love you too.
My name is Bonnie. I identify as she, they. I live in Provo, and I am not a BYU student. But my partner was, and I was a student at BYU, Idaho. And I am a proud single parent of 3 queer children and 1 straight child. I love all of them the same. I'm really not sure. For all of the years that I struggled to stay in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I am an 8th generation Mormon, I would stand up to bear my testimony often, and I would tell people not only that I believed in Jesus Christ, and I do believe in the teachings, the principles of Jesus of Nazareth, and I continue to live by those principles, and that's what my children have been raised on. It's how we act in the world. It's how we're decent human beings. But I would tell congregations, I believe this is true, because if I didn't, I would not be here. So I want you to know that I believe in Jesus of Nazareth because you are my people. That's what I believe. And I'm here now. I'm here. This is my church. Thank you to all of the BYU students, the queer students who are still either in the closet or out carefully dancing through those questions. You're going to leave Provo. I know you are. And you're going to make a difference in the world. I'm glad to share the community with you. I'm so impressed with how brave you are. When I came out, when I was 18, had no idea where I would be now. And I'm overwhelmed by the allies that have come to our aid, to our support lately. In fact, it's overwhelming. I think 25 years ago when I'd come out, how different it would have been if I'd had all of you. My life would have been completely different. I might not live in Provo. But I'm glad that I do, and I'm so glad that I belong to this community, and I see you, and I love you, and we all belong to this universe, or we wouldn't be here at all.
Hi, my name is Nicole. My pronouns are she, her. I am an openly out lesbian on campus because women. I am a grad student, and I teach calculus on campus. I do live up here in Salt Lake, and one of the dreams I have after I graduate is to have a place where people can feel safe. And so I just want you guys to know, both the people that are here or the people that are at home watching or those who aren't out yet, if you need a safe place to go, you can find me on campus. And if, DM me and you can come to my place here in Salt Lake if you need a place to go. Because what's most important to me is that people can feel love and feel safe, because right now this is not something that we should have to go through. I was taught from a young age that we are to love everybody. And this gathering is what exemplifies that to me, that we have the ability to love everybody and to support everybody and to remember that we are all human beings and we all deserve kindness.
I wrote down some stuff because otherwise I'd talk forever. And we don't have that much more time, so. It wasn't fair that 6 years ago I had to lie about my experiences with women. By the way, I'm Alyssa. My pronouns are she, her. I had to lie about my experiences with women so that I could serve a mission. It wasn't fair that I was so scared of being sent home that I couldn't tell any of my companions about my sexuality. Since coming out, most of them have been really, really wonderful, and I do wish that I had told them, but I couldn't risk being sent home. It wasn't fair that 3 years ago, I had to come out to my brother to stop him spouting homophobic rhetoric and saying that anyone who supports gay marriage or advocates for a better life for the LGBTQ plus community in or out of the church should have their temple recommend revoked. It wasn't fair that 2 years ago when I came out publicly, I had to explain to my mom that, yes, I will advocate for the queer community, even though I am married to a man and have achieved a celestial marriage. It wasn't fair to my amazing husband that both in and out of the church, people make assumptions about me based on, or our marriage based on my sexuality. And it isn't fair that I have to defend my queer little siblings against other members of our family. It isn't fair, and I haven't even been through that much comparatively. So many of us have experiences that aren't fair, but it's our reality. But my hope is that it won't always be our reality, that our lived experiences won't be considered divisive, and that people who only wish to live their truth can be welcomed in any religion they wish to simply exist in. We shouldn't have to be scared. The God that I believe in doesn't want us to be this scared. But look at us being brave. And I'm so glad that I have found a queer family to be brave in. So thank you.
We've got just under 15 minutes left, so just kind of keep that in mind. If you are wanting to come up, now would be the time to do it. And I'm only going to take a couple minutes because I know that we don't have that much time. My name is Annie. Some people know me as Sinead. I was a BYU student from 2007 to 2015. Got several degrees there, which was not great for my mental health. One thing that really strikes me about my time at BYU is the amount of fear that I lived in. Fear that someone would be upset with me and they would turn me into the honor code office for being queer. Fear that the university could take away the education that I worked my whole life for no longer believing in the church. no longer feeling like I was welcome there. And when I graduated, I got myself into intensive therapy, which I highly recommend. If you feel like your mental health is suffering, therapy is awesome. Yeah, therapists. And since beginning therapy, since moving to Salt Lake, since kind of distancing myself from my BYU experience, living my truth, my authentic self, unapologetically, has made my life so much better. So BYU students who are here tonight, who are queer, who are LGBTQIA+, you have a place here with us. We are your queer family. You are not alone. There are people out there who have been where you are and have survived it, and we're here for you.
Hello, my name is Hannah. I go by she, her. I'm like a little bit obsessed with Sarah Bareilles, so I'm going to share a few of her lyrics from like my favorite song. It's called Little Voice. So the chorus says, "It's just a little voice, and if you're listening, sometimes a little voice can say the biggest things. It's just my little voice that I've been missing." I really, really love this because I think often we hear the voices of the world tell us that we're broken or we're wrong or like that we don't belong. But the little voice that for me comes from my Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ is the voice that says, "You are loved and you do belong." The second verse, she says, "Looking over the precious moments, it hurts, don't it? They can cut both ways. No amount of remembering the better things will make the bad ones go away." I also really love that because I really cherish a lot of my memories within the church, but a lot of them also can bring pain. They cut both ways. And I used to feel like I had to be like all or nothing. And it was just like one way or the other, that you had to be this or that. But I realized that I can live in a space of ambiguity, and it was chill, and it works out for me. Towards the end of her song, she says like repeatedly, "I will be loud, I'm coming out to tell you words are not enough. I will be loud, I'm coming out to tell you noise is not enough." To all our allies, thank you. But I also want to voice these words again. I'm telling you that sometimes your words are not enough. We love your love, but we need action from everyone. That's how we get things done. And then the last thing I wanted to share from it was that she says that we've been handed mountaintops to sing from. I think we mountains are like trials or whatever. And I think we look at these mountains and we're like, oh, what a dreadful mountain. But, you know, being in Utah, mountains are beautiful. So we all have a beautiful mountain. And when you get to the top, it's not, oh, boo-hoo, I just climbed a terrible mountain. But I climbed a beautiful mountain, and I'm at the top. And I get to sing from it and share with everyone and everyone else's mountains that they have, that we're loved and we're good. And I get to shout that from my mountaintop. And I love that. And I love singing too. So I get to sing it from my mountaintop, which makes it more fun. But anyway, I just wanted to share that for anyone who sometimes feels overwhelmed by the voices of the world, that the voice, the little voice that comes from God, is one that shares love and goodness and joy. So try to listen to that voice because it's way better. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marie. I use they, them, and she, her pronouns. couple days ago, I made a post on social media just talking about how tired I was of people saying the sort of things that Holland said on Monday. And within the hour, a lady from our ward had come to our house and gave me a bouquet of rainbow flowers. And I know, it was like the best. Like, and I just realized this is exactly what Christ would do in this situation. You know, like, let's arm ourselves with flowers, not muskets. You know, let's show that we love each other and that we're looking out for each other, and, you know, just, I don't know, we should really just show that we love each other. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Elise. My pronouns are she, her. The shirt that I'm wearing tonight says, "Love you, mean it." And I think that is a really important message. And when Christ and God say that they love me, I know that they mean it without exception, and it's unconditional. And I am very grateful for the people in my life who tell me that they love me and mean it and show it. I'm grateful for my family and my friends that showed up with me here tonight, and those that are watching on the live stream. And I just want to say to everyone that I love you, and I love the students at BYU who are struggling, and I mean it. Thank you.
Hi all. My name is Josh. I use he and they pronouns. I went to BYU for 4 years and somehow made it through. In my time there, I'd taken a lot of musket fire, as I'm sure most of you have. I remember begging God to change me, to make me straight, or just take my life before I made any mistake that would keep me out of heaven. It took a lot of time and space for me to figure out who I was. And I'm really grateful to the people who were willing to give me that space and show me love, even when I still had a lot to unlearn. I'm grateful to allies who stood up for me and helped make space for me on campus, even when I was too confused and afraid to make space for myself. Those allies who are here and listening, thank you. The things you do mean a lot, and we love you. Finally, to those people who are firing your muskets, I'd ask you to consider two things. First, you can't take back musket fire. You can't undo the things that you do. Second, musket fire is loud. You can't hear what we're feeling. You can't hear us cry. Please, even if you're not ready to bury your weapons, set them down for long enough to hear us. Set them down for long enough to hear us cry, hear us beg for mercy. I think you'll find that this is not a battle. This is a group of wounded people asking you to stop. And the people that are getting hurt worst are the people that are still trying to stay close to you, the people that want to remain, that want to keep ties with you, the people that want to be in your families, the people that want to be your friends, and find themselves closer to all the harm you're causing.
Okay, my name's Whitney. My pronouns are she, her. I graduated from BYU a few years ago. And, sorry, I'm kind of nervous. And I don't remember a community there. Maybe that's because I'm shy, I don't know. But I didn't have Encircle. I don't remember protests. I don't remember chalk. And it was really isolating. So, as disheartening as this is, I just want to say that I'm proud of people unlike me that can go out and advocate for people like me at BYU. And even though this feels like a step back, like, it seems like progress to me. So I'm really proud of you guys, and that's all I have. Thanks.
Okay, it has reached 10 o'clock, so we have reached the end of our open mic session. Just want to remind you, as you guys are going home, we've got some upcoming events for BYU students, faculties, and allies. We got BYU Pride Night, September 4th. This is going to be in Kiwanis Park from 3 to 7 p.m., the one in Provo. And then we've got our BYU Solidarity game. That's going to be BYU versus Arizona State, September 18th. We're in our rainbow gear to the game. All right, yeah, right?
It doesn't matter.
All right, thank you so much for coming out and showing support for the LGBTQIA+ community. We appreciate you, we love you, and we're here for you, BYU kids. All right.